Let's review question 3 from CBA 4. Evolutionary changes have been observed in beak size in a population of medium ground finches in the Galapagos Islands. Given a choice of small and large seeds, the medium ground finch eats mostly small seeds, which are easier to crush. However, during dry years, all seeds are in short supply. Small seeds are quickly consumed, so the birds are left with a diet of large seeds. Studies have shown that this change in diet may be related to an increase in the average beak size of the medium ground finch. The most likely explanation for the increase in the average beak size of the medium ground finch is that the... Okay, let's go back to the question and pick out some details here. So it tells us that the ground finches eat mostly small seeds, but during the dry years, all of the seeds are in short supply, so we're going to be short on some resources here. The small seeds are quickly consumed, so the birds are left with large seeds. So it looks like eventually they started seeing ground finches with an increase in beak size, probably due to the fact that they had to eat a different food source. But remember how adaptations work. They are inherited traits that show up over time because they are genetically passed on from parent to offspring. So the most likely explanation for the increase in average beak size is due to what? So let's look at our answer choices. The first one says, a trait is inherited, and birds with larger beaks have a greater reproductive success. So remember, guys, that adaptations are inherited traits. They don't just show up. You don't just say, hey, I need a larger beak, and you get a larger beak. This is something that you're born with, and because you're born with something that's advantageous to your environment, you get to reproduce and pass on that larger beak size. So this is probably the answer, but let's look at our other answer choices. Birds acquired larger beaks due to the added exercise of feeding on larger seeds. Okay, so remember what we talked about in class. We talked about how adaptations are inherited traits, like I said, and we can't just acquire traits because we need them. We're born with them through mutations that create variation within populations. So the answer is not B. Birds interbreed with larger beaked species and passed on that trait. If you interbreed with larger beaked species, maybe that would give you a larger beak, but we're not referencing any of that here in our reading passage, so this is probably not our answer. The lack of small seeds caused a mutation which resulted in a larger beak. Again, mutations are random. We can't just cause them because we need them to. They happen over time and actually by accident. So the best answer choice here would be A.